Hello and welcome to another GTN show, and welcome back Mark from his vacation.
Oh, thanks mate, yeah. I really need it, to be honest, after that tough week of filming in Lanzarote that we had.
It was tough. Yeah, we really knocked it out of the park in Lanzarote this time.
It was a tough one.
Yeah. Anyway, lots to discuss on the show this week, starting with racing happening.
Oh yeah, we've got Ironman 70.3 Dubai. Can Laura Phillip overthrow Daniela Reef? And can anyone beat Christian Blumenfeld?
Yeah. Also, we got the Couples Championship happening for the first time ever, a whole new format of triathlon racing, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah, meanwhile, there's one Ironman World Champion that won't be racing anytime soon due to an unfortunate crash. But we do, on a more positive note, have more world records. Right, first up, let's take a look at some of the things we've spotted on social media. And first of all, Alistair Brownlee getting dialed in on his new BMC time machine, presumably ahead of the Ironman World Championships and his sub-7 attempt. And it seems like he's head out to Spain and teamed up with the brand Unico, who do custom parts and particularly aero bars for bikes. So yeah, he's seen doing a bit of aero testing on the velodrome out in Spain.
Yeah, no actual sign of what the aero bars look like, not from that picture anyway, but I think you can pretty much assume they're making him some fast custom aero bars for his sub-7 attempt and World Champs attempt. Interesting to see what comes out and what his final BMC bike looks like for those World Champs. Speaking of bikes, Ashley Gentle has got a new bike and she's announced she's on Scott for 2022, so she's got a brand new Scott Plasma 6, which is also a pretty good looking bike, isn't it?
Oh, it's that paintwork.
I know, it's good.
Paintwork, even on their mountain bikes as well. It's got to be one of my favourite. Also, the PTO, Professional Triathlon Organisation, have announced a couple of new board members. We've got Laura Siddall and Matt Hansen. And with that, we've also got the announcement of a few athletes leaving the board.
Yeah, the PTO wishes to thank their departing board members, and those are Rachel Joyce, Meredith Kessler, Sarah Piampiano, Scott DeFilippis, and Dylan McNeese. Obviously, they've served their time on the board, which you can't serve indefinitely, so they're always stepping down for other athletes to take their place.
And now for one of our many world records in today's show, we have a new 5K world record set by Betty Lindberg at the grand old age of 97.
Yeah, this is not an all-comers world record, to be fair. She's done 55 minutes at the age of 97, which is pretty impressive just to cover the distance. It's very impressive, actually, world record there. It's the world record for someone over 90, I think, is it?
You tell me, but sorry. It's impressive nonetheless.
Yeah, it's very impressive. Also, we found this on the internet. It's something of a GTN hack / bodge. How do they do it? Hack / bodge.
I'm going to say this is a hack. This is by Mark Buckingham, a professional triathlete, also been here on GTN before, partner of Lucy, and they have basically made a bit of a frame to go within the bike bag made out of plumbing pipes.
Yeah, after a couple of weeks ago, we saw the tragic news of India Lee's bike being destroyed en route to a training camp in a soft bag. He's reinforcing his soft bag using plumbing pipes, which he stuck together, and he actually jumps on it in the video and it seems to hold pretty well.
I think it's ingenious.
Hack or is it bodge? I think it's quite the hack, isn't it?
I think it's definitely the hack, yeah. So fair play, Mark. Good work.
Yeah.
And then finally, and we will get on to more of this later, but Martin Van Riel getting rigged up and ready for Ironman 70.3 Dubai with not only a Trek Speed concept, a disc wheel too.
Yeah,
and
also,
no socks.
No socks. He's doing triathlon full on, isn't he? Triathlon. All right, on to your tri news, and we're starting with some pretty bad news, and that is that former Ironman world champion Patrick Lange has finished his training camp in Gran Canaria in absolutely the wrong way. He apparently had a bike crash. He's had an MRI, and they've said that he's damaged his AC joint, his acromioclavicular joint in his shoulder, and he's out for at least 12 weeks. Which is pretty bad news because it means he definitely won't be opening his season in Challenge Salou at the beginning of April, and he almost certainly won't be racing in the St. George Ironman World Championships at the beginning of May, which is very frustrating because everyone wanted to know how that course would suit him. And obviously we want to see everyone racing the World Champs. So that's very frustrating. He's headed straight back to Germany where he can get the best treatment possible from the best team, and he's already making his plans. But yeah, we wish him well. And fast recovery, Patrick. See you back on the racecourse soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, of course, we're all aware of the very sad and unfortunate events happening over in the Ukraine. Well, World Triathlon has stepped in to offer their support and assistance to Ukraine. So they've actually set up in trying to coordinate with some of the national federations to offer host families to Ukrainian athletes. And you too can get involved if you like. The email address to contact them is welcome@triathlon.org. They've also gone as far as with the 11 European Triathlon Cup, which is taking place on March the 12th, actually offering free accommodation to Ukrainian athletes and actually just almost offering them unlimited stays. So should they want to stay on and just have a good base for a prolonged period of time, they can do so.
Get out there and go and train where it's safe. As someone else who is supporting the Ukrainians, and you can support them too, is Ruvi. They've set up a virtual charity ride, which you can ride 42 kilometers around the city of Kiev in Ukraine, obviously virtually, not actually. And for every person who rides that 42 kilometers route, they're going to donate €1 to UNICEF to support the people in Ukraine. And so far, they've already got more than 3,500 people doing that. They said they will donate a minimum of €25,000. But obviously, the more people that ride that 42 kilometer virtual route, the more money they're going to deliver. The CEO actually said, "We consider it important to let Ruvi users know our stance regarding the war in Ukraine," from CEO Peter Semek said in a statement.
Well, now moving on to the rest of the world records that we discussed earlier. So we have a new Guinness World Record for a marathon dressed as a carrot. Oh yeah. Jordan Maddox has set a new marathon world record, a time of 2:44 at the Rock and Roll Marathon in Phoenix. Actually back in January, but it's just been confirmed. And it's actually not just a record for being dressed as a carrot, but as a vegetable.
Oh yeah, he also holds the world record for the fastest marathon dressed as a fruit.
Yeah, which was
he did it as a banana.
Banana, yeah, and actually went faster then. He went 2:41.27, and that was back in 2020. So he's actually got slower.
Yeah,
and probably in the same costume. He's probably just.
But we all know bananas are faster than carrots, Mark. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think's next? The fastest marathon dressed as a salad. You can use the same costume, paint it green, and call it a cucumber.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Maybe we should do that more. What do you think?
We do meat, do a sausage or something.
Fastest marathon dressed as a sausage. Yeah. You got to think of the aerodynamic food stuff. So otherwise,
I think we should move on.
Yeah. Okay. Well, on to a real world record, and that's by Yelemzerf Yehuala, and she ran an actual 10-kilometer women's world record in a time of 29:14. That is 2 minutes 55 per kilometer for 10 kilometer. Fast. She knocked 24 seconds off the previous world record in Castellón, Spain, to take that new world record 10 kilometer time.
Wow, 24 seconds. Oh, that's
impressive.
Wow,
yeah.
Incredible. Well, we've got some exciting news also in the triathlon world. The Bahrain 13 endurance team has got 2 new members. We have Joe Skipper and Georgia Taylor-Brown. They'll be replacing Javier Gomez and Vicki Holland.
That's
quite
right.
a prestigious team to be joining.
2 British athletes, joining the likes of Alistair Brownlee, Christian Blumenfeld, Jan Frodeno, Daniela Rief. It's quite a stacked team, that Bahrain 13. So congratulations to Joe Skipper and Georgia Taylor-Brown for being part of that team.
Yeah, absolutely. And also we've discussed the new PTO tour and the events coming up that are open to age groupers, not only pros. And they have just announced a new cancellation policy, not just because of COVID, but any injury and for parenthood matters. So you just need to submit a medical certificate and you'll get a full refund.
Yeah, pretty revolutionary in the sports world. I think all around, it's pretty rare to just be able to send a doctor's note and say, get my money back. So yeah, congratulations to them. Leading the charge, aren't they? The
really
PTO.
are.
Really looking forward to those events, and hopefully they can be as good as they promised to be at this point.
Well, now for the race news, but before we get into all the racing news, we want to hear from you guys. We want you guys to send in any of your photos or videos using the photo uploader, which is on screen right now. You can find the description just down below.
Yeah, triathlon-related photos, please, only. No, none of the other stuff. Yeah, you can, prepare for your upcoming triathlon season. Let us know what you're doing. Are you in your pain cave? Are you getting out on the road at last? Or are you down south and actually already racing? like we've just had this last weekend. Australians are coming to the end of their summer and the end of their race season, and they just had the Australian Middle Distance Triathlon Championships at the Husky Triathlon, quite a famous triathlon in Australia. The winner there of the Australian National Champs was Caleb Noble. He had a blistering 1:11 run to take the win ahead of Tim van Berkel and Mitchell Cunningham. And on the women's side, Grace Tech taking out the women's title for the Australian Triathlon Champs, and Penny Slater in second with Tracy Clinch in third.
Far more glamorous than the racing happening over here in the UK, because we are in the depths of cross-country season here in the UK, muddy fields, and this weekend we had the English National Cross-Country Championships, which took place on Parliament Hill, which I've done many times before, but sadly never got quite as high up the rankings as Alex Yee and Georgia Taylor-Brown did. Alex Yee took an impressive third place in the senior men's, and Georgia Taylor-Brown taking fourth, both obviously part of that successful quartet in the mixed team relay at the Olympic Games. So great to see them both obviously in form and some exciting racing.
Yeah, hopefully that's the end of muddy winter racing, because the racing is actually starting again. Yay! 70.3 Dubai happens this weekend, as we mentioned earlier, and it's going to be a cracker.
Yeah, and the race that I am really excited about here is on the women's side. Daniela Ryf versus Laura Philipp.
Yeah, it's a pretty exciting prospect, especially to start our season off. I mean, these two are pretty much the heavyweights at the moment. Daniela Ryf needs no introduction. Her last race was 11th at the 70.3 World Champs, which was very much off form for her, so she'll definitely be looking to prove something. But she did win 2 Ironmans and 3 70.3s last year, so she's definitely
including Dubai being one of those.
Exactly. So she's the defending champion, and I definitely think she's the one to beat. But if anyone can beat her, Laura Philipp might be the one. Laura Philipp had a pretty amazing time in the Ironmans. So she won both Ironman Austria and Ironman Finland. Ironman Austria, she ran a 2:44 marathon at the back of that to win by 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
Yeah. Now, she said on social media that she's just there to get her heart rate racing again, a taste for the adrenaline of racing, and get those nerves out to start the season and test her equipment going into the big season ahead with 2 World Championships. But I have a feeling she might be doing a little bit more than that.
I have a feeling. Yeah. They're obviously the 2 main players, but I am also quite excited to see Daniela Blemmel back racing. She actually hasn't raced since the Ironman World Championships back in 2019. She's understandably been quite busy being a mother, but she's definitely a class athlete, and I'm excited to see her back racing.
On the men's side, none other than Christian Blumenfeld is on the start list, and everyone wants to see how he goes. Obviously, on the back of his 7:27 Ironman, he is also the current Ironman 70.3 world record holder with, I think it's a 3:25 that he's done just around the corner in Bahrain on a similarly flat course to this Dubai one. So he's definitely the guy to watch. Obviously, everyone else is looking at him going, well, Olympic world champion, everything. Olympic champion, world champion in World Triathlon last year. Is there anything he can't do? He's definitely the man to watch. But there's a few other guys on that start list, including last year's defending champion.
Yeah, Daniel Backegaard. He also won Ironman 70.3 Lanzarote last year, and he is a bit of an animal on the bike. We also have Bart Ernots. He's unfortunately actually had a slightly turbulent year last year. He's normally quite on form, Bart, but last year didn't seem to be quite his best, but he did still win Ironman 70.3 Florida. The bit that I think may let him down is his swim. Now, I suspect this is going to be on from the get-go in this race.
There's a good reason why we think the swim might be on. That's because there's a few World Triathlon short distance races stepping up to the start line. Some of those are Pierre Lecour, who has never raced a 70.3 as far as we can tell. Andreas Salversberg and Martin van Riel. Andrea and Martin have also both raced. Andreas Salversberg actually last year was 4th in Dubai, only 1 minute behind the winner.
Oh, it's close to the front end there.
It was a cracker of a race, and he was right up there, so he can definitely do it on this course. Martin van Riel won 70.3 Xiamen in China back in 2019, so he has done the distance before, and then he focused on the Olympics and came 4th. So he's definitely got the pedigree. So yeah, it's going to be quite a race between all those guys. It is a fast course in Dubai, particularly if the wind plays along, so maybe we could see some records being threatened.
Yeah, we also have Felipe Azevedo, who placed 2nd behind Daniel last year, so there's so many players in there, aren't there?
Well, we're excited. Racing's finally starting. Yay, for 2022. It's going to be a big 2022. Interestingly, also on the start list, there's a couple of Russians. Vasily Permitin and Ivan Kalashnikov are on that start list, and given all the world's events. We're not sure that they're going to even be able to travel there, never mind actually be able to race. It'll be interesting to see if they are there. Obviously, we don't want to see athletes' careers getting ended by this whole situation or getting affected. Hopefully they can get there and can race for their sake, for the athletes' sake. I think a lot of the innocent victims of this whole thing are the athletes, the people who have nothing to do with it. So yeah, it's a big situation, isn't it?
We also have another race this weekend, a slightly unusual one, the Couples Championships. So this is inviting pro triathlete couples to the Couples Championships, where they will take part in a 400-metre swim, a 16-kilometre bike, and a 5K run, each of them doing these, and the fastest combined time wins.
Yeah, wins $100,000. It's a big prize purse, and some big names on that start list. The couples, some of these couples I didn't actually know were couples before they announced that they were racing this Couples Championship.
Maybe they did a sneaky dropped...
Yeah, last minute little naked Facebook official so they can get an invite.
Chance for me, or
yeah, who are you going to invite, Mark?
Lucy Charles Barkley? Maybe just quickly send her a message on Facebook.
Probably get you blocked rather than a couple, Mark.
Yeah. I've got 5 days to work on it.
Yeah, you work on it. Anyway, some of the couples: Josh Amberger, Ashley Gentle, Jared Brown, Emma Pallant Brown. They're recently married. Marinda Carfrae and Tim O'Donnell, that's a couple that everyone knows about. Marjolaine Pierre and Clement Mignon.
Didn't know that one.
Yeah, pretty strong. Paula Finley and Eric Lagerström. They definitely are a strong couple. Who else have we got? Rachel Klom and Richard Murray. Richard Murray's obviously had a pretty bad year last year, missing the Olympics, but he's been racing again recently, so they're definitely a couple to watch, especially on that short distance. There's quite a few couples. Some of them I didn't know. Vincent Louis and Taylor Spivey.
That's going to be a strong one.
I think they're going to be actually my favourite. Over this distance, it's 400 metre, 16 kilometre, 5 kilometre. I mean, it's pretty much made for that.
And also to throw some more excitement into this, they've also brought in Brooke Bennett from the swimming world, Phil Guyman from the cycling world, and Gwen Jorgensen from the running/triathlon world as kind of the team to beat. Now, any team that beats them overall will also get 10k donated to charity, but per team up to a total of 180k to charity.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, though, those guys do actually have to do 2 relays each. So
the couples will do a whole sprint triathlon, and then the other partner in the couple will do a whole sprint triathlon. Whereas on the relay, you've got to swim, then while your partners are biking and running, you get ready for another swim, etc. So yeah, they got to do it twice. And if they get beaten, like Mark says, $10,000 per couple that beats them, there's a lot of money on the line for those guys. Interestingly, you can't watch this unless you fork up, which is an interesting thing, and I'm not really sure of the wisdom of this. $7.99 behind the paywall that you've got to pay to watch this on Saturday. What do you think, Mark? Should it be behind a paywall?
Personally, I feel like the first year shouldn't have been.
No.
Gain some traction, let people know what the event is and what it's all about. But
it's a pretty exciting event, and I think I'd probably be tuning in, but I'm not sure I'm going to be paying $8 to tune in for the first time, and I don't know what the coverage is going to be like, what kind of quality it's going to be.
But there's some pretty class players.
It would be very interesting to see. Maybe the work can pay for us to watch it. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll put it on the work card.
Well, maybe I'll be racing by then anyway.
Anyway, lunchtime Sunday in Europe, if you are interested in watching that. It promises to be interesting, if nothing else. All right, on to our caption competition. Last week we had this image of a guy struggling with his swim cap, trying to put it on. I'm not sure. Anyway, your captions were: Greg King said, a race is not ideal time to see if your noise-cancelling headphones are waterproof.
Josh Spencer, introducing swimming's version of aero bars. I'm assuming maybe like trying to get...
Keeping it aero, yeah. David Tucker said, I knew I shouldn't have tried to glue my swim cap on. He was trying to take it off and put it on.
But the winner, Rebs tries it. I could store my gels in here. You are the winner. Send in your details and we will get a cap out to you ASAP. Now for this week's caption comp photo, it is from Ironman 70.3 Yongshiping. Well, do your best, James. So be careful what you say here.
I was going to say, they never told me it was 3 disciplines. What else should we be doing with her hand, Mark?
I don't know. Yeah, that'll do. Oh, I'm sure you guys out there can do better though. Leave your captions in the comments section down below. But that is it for the show this week. We do have lots coming up on the channel. In fact, one that I'm really excited to drop. It is James and myself on a tandem taking on a very good up-and-coming pro triathlete. In fact, It's a video that I hope we can repeat, maybe make a bit of a series of as we take on pros.
All the pros. We take them all on, yeah. We need to train a little bit more on our tandem before we do that. We also have a day in the life of a pro coming up soon on the channel, where we follow Kat Matthews for a day of, well, what a pro does all day.
Yeah, also a very exciting pro to be seeing and getting that insight behind closed doors. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed today's show. Please do give it a thumbs up, give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And whilst you're doing that, why not check out our video from the weekend? Heather doing the Last Man Standing event, an ultra marathon event with a bit of a twist.